Hello to you once again. When I launched the Soviet chess set that I have been using now for well over 4 months, I did a video on it giving you some details, and I thought it now the right time to do a similar video on another Soviet chess set. I did buy a second one, and it's the one in front of you. Now, essentially they are of the same style. Many would say that this style of chess set is from Latvia, and it may well be, I don't know for sure. Admittedly, Latvia was part of the Soviet Union from around 1920 to the early part of the 1990s, so it could well be, but it is dubbed as a Soviet chess set. Let's first of all look at the comparisons to my other chess set. Well, it comes in a box board that opens out into a board. You store the pieces inside of it. That's the main comparison. But the contrast here is that it is a smaller design. It has one hook instead of two hooks, and it's 1956, this one, compared to the other one, 1950. So those are the differences looking at it from the outside of the closed box. When you eventually open it up, like this, and you look inside, essentially it looks pretty much the same. However, there are differences. Let's just look at the pieces that are different. We'll give an example of each. And what I'm as good as saying here is that essentially all the other pieces are of the same design. Now the rooks are different in the set. There are no crenellations, meaning to say there are no indentations at the top, whether it be 4, 6 or 8. And the same applies, of course, to the black rook. It's just smooth all the way around. The knights are totally different. If you've studied the knights at all in the other set, they're quite different to these. However, essentially everything otherwise is just the same. Now, what I propose to do, I played a game recently where I played a variation of Alekhine defense for black. I tried this in a correspondence game back in New Zealand many years ago, and it worked for me, and I thought I'd give it a try out again with a slight modification. And so I think it's appropriate that we use a Soviet chess set for an Alekhine defense game that proved to be quite useful to me. So watch out for that one. This is a wonderful set, and I've made a comment on YouTube when a gentleman inquired about this very set. You can acquire these without spending an absolute fortune. For instance, this set cost approximately 1/3 of the price of the other Soviet set. So it was a bargain. And if you want one of these, I would buy sooner rather than later, because although there might seem to be a few floating around at the moment, it won't necessarily stay that way. And if you leave it too long, then you could well miss out. It's a great set, and when we come back for the Alekhine defense game, you'll see it fully set up at the start of the game, and you can have a good look at the pieces. They are beautiful pieces, and they are wonderfully turned, and it's a magnificent effort on the part of the Soviets. They made some great stuff, and I'm sure that Russians have made some great stuff before the Soviet period and since it. So hats off to them for that. We might not always agree with what is going on there, but the way that they approach chess has to be admired, and I am an admirer of the Soviet school of chess, particularly Mikhail Botvinnik and Mikhail Tal, and Tal incidentally was from Latvia, so it's appropriate, I think, that we use the set for that particular game. So be sure to watch out for that one, and enjoy your chess, and goodbye for now.